So grateful to be here and very happy to discuss these incredibly important and hard to talk about topics. He has an incredible backbone and staggering moral fiber. Howie is totally committed, completely ethical, totally admirable. No pressure if you can hear this, but honestly, Howie's a hero to me.
John, you joined us before, and it was pretty incredible kind of testimony you gave, and you just devoted your life to advocacy for child trafficking, and even 9/11 truth. Maybe you could explain to us, in the last decade, what do you think the most challenging parts of coming alive on some of these issues have been?
Probably the hardest thing, and it continues, is just realizing that pretty much everything that I was told and taught since I was in grade school is probably not true. And hello, good evening, and welcome to the Traffic Report from the Redwood Forest of Northwest Washington or California or somewhere in that region to the Appalachians, to the city of brotherly love. We are truly covering the nation, and welcome to our new Howie in Philadelphia and our new co-host, Catherine.
Evening. Good evening. Hey, you know what? We had an earthquake this morning. I missed it because I was napping, but we had an earthquake.
Sounds like you have an earthquake there now.
Oh my goodness.
I'm glad somebody else has dogs. Well, we all have dogs.
Yes, we do. I just got mine out. Well, maybe, John,
we have a co-host, Howie. I
was going to say you sort of thrown that in, and maybe you should explain a little bit.
Well, Catherine, obviously, and people who listen know who she is. She's got I think the highest rated 3 shows that we possibly have ever done. Survivor, Catherine, Survivor Story, and it was amazing. I mean, I could have, that could have been a 10-parter as far as I was considered, or as far as I considered, and it's just great. We've had a number of people on the show that have threatened to co-host, and unfortunately, I think through just circumstance, that hasn't happened. But I'm just really happy that Catherine was willing, and she. But
John and I had bounced. Yeah, we had bounced this around, several times. That first of all, sometimes it's difficult for us to meet the commitment to the show as much, but more so than that, we also think that a female presence on the show,
really balancing our yin and yang,
and not just obviously not just any female. I mean, Catherine has much more knowledge than I do about this, so we're gonna see how it goes, and we're gonna feel it out, and I
know stats and I care. Howard, I know stats and I care. So
well, you know a lot. You know a lot more than that. So if John needs a break or I need we're gonna just. She's a part of she's been a part of my life for 14, 15 months. So it feels right. So.
I noticed that dynamic between you guys, and it's really cool. And I think
honestly, I notice our dynamic on the when we talk here, it's a little more formal. Like when we talk on the phone, it's definitely a lot less. So hopefully we'll get into that more conversational, because I mean the last time we hadn't spoken quite some time, and about a month ago we talked on the phone for about 4 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway.
Well, this is the thing about Howard and I. We really do tell each other the truth. Even like I've said, "Oh no, Howard, no, I'm not. That's not flying with me." And he'll say the same with me, and I appreciate that because I'm not looking for a yes man. I'm looking for a friend who will be objective, and so we do pretty well with that, I think.
Well, I noticed, and I'm just happy to, and I loved, speaking with you, and I think we all have, and we started the show. It's like, wow, man, we've never done this before, and basically it's just me and Howie talking on the phone, and I think you fit into that, and it's a great format, and hopefully we'll be moving to some live stuff and video and et cetera, but it's basically just three people having a conversation, and I'm psyched, and I love that balance, and the fact that your perspective, as a survivor is, that's just invaluable to everything that's going on and everything that we talk about. So
I just want to jump in real quick. I had I'm not going to mention any names, but I had a unique experience, and I've done this a couple times with survivors. And basically, I was asking, and I've done this before with other people, when in regards to Pedogate news, to keep the hashtag strictly to articles about arrests and convictions. And somebody was on and just using the hashtag like they would use any other hashtag, and and I politely in DM, mentioned that, and then she's a survivor, and she was very gracious about it. And then the things that she was tweeting about, I said, oh, by the way, what made you come across this particular thing? And then we got into it, and my opinion was, well, there's really not a lot there. It wasn't pedophilia. It wasn't, maybe it was more, this person found it inappropriate, and but there wasn't any, she just found it inappropriate. And I said, well, with everything that's out there concrete that we could be tweeting about, maybe getting into speculation about, a celebrity's, a celebrity's daughter, because I just don't see a lot there. And it devolved into an argument where, I was being called creepy and whatever. What's
gosh.
that?
I said, yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and when people call me creepy, because that's where I draw the line, and perhaps well, yeah, survivor or not survivor.
I've never called you creepy. I'm
glad you have your standards.
Yeah. So anyway, and I ended up.
I've never experienced you being creepy, so that's
yeah. Well, because I was coming at this person in DM and saying these things, and and I said. I was really just giving my opinion that I didn't think there was a lot there with, she was nice. She was not, she said, oh, I apologize about, the Pedogate news. And then, but I just went a little bit further and said, why are you tweeting about this anyway? Because I'm not really sure what's going on here. But anyway, I just wanted to say, I perhaps I should be a little more sensitive to survivors, but, She was completely triggered and then taking things out on me, calling me creepy. And then I was like, you know what? That's it. And so anyway, I just wanted to throw it out there. So, I'm not a yes man or whatever. But anyway, we should probably move on because we have so much to talk about. Yeah. Starting with
Larry Nassar.
Go.
I'll come in last. Very moving. You guys tell me your take on it, and just give me a couple minutes at the end because I was tearing up during that sentencing, so I want to talk about that a little bit. So go ahead.
You want to go first, Catherine? Or?
No, go ahead. I followed it, but
Yeah, well, John and I had done a show on it. The Indianapolis Star had done an amazing report on USA Gymnastics.
Yeah.
This is when Larry Nassar had been arrested, and it wasn't just about the accusations against Larry Nassar. It was also USA Gymnastics. I'm not thinking of the word, but their apprehension about helping in the investigation and being forthcoming with information and cooperation. So, I mean, we should probably tweet that article out again, but that's really, what got us started on it. And then, looking further into it, now everybody's, jumping on the Larry Nassar's, a pedophile bandwagon. But, one thing that got lost in all this, aside from all the gymnasts that he was violating during treatments, he also raped, what was it, a 6-year-old neighbor?
Yep.
Yeah, right. And I believe that because he had child pornography charges against him, and I believe the child pornography he was actually making child pornography with this neighbor or
cutting out the middleman. He didn't have to buy it on the internet. Yeah,
right. And that's sort of it's one of those things that sort of gets lost in the shuffle of all this. And also when people are talking when they're saying these young women were raped. And then they would say they were raped as children. Listen, he raped children, and they did, and 150 of them. But it's not as though
what they estimate his
150
victims that he had.
Yeah,
at least. And I bet you there's more.
Oh yeah.
But it's not as though many of, or at least several of these athletes and these girls came forward and said something. They said something to the Michigan State coach, Kathy Clegg, who ended up, I believe she retired. And she ignored it. Some of them went to law enforcement and they ignored it. This made it up to the university president. And now I don't have her name right now, but she's
all the way to the FBI.
Yes, and nothing was done. So I've seen things, and I've seen this before. That the Michigan State president, please someone get her name. I'll have to go on. Mishandled the accusations. No, she didn't mishandle them. She ignored them, and ignoring them is different than mishandling. If you mishandle it, you took them seriously and you sent them to the wrong channels, or you misplaced the papers, or you weren't sure what to do with it. No, they ignored them because Larry never.
So it was a clerical error that was responsible.
Yeah, it's handled because they want to say mishandled, because if they say they ignored them, that's criminal, because that's failure. I believe that's like a failure to report.
Yeah, well,
people,
and I think they're both criminal, but that's just my opinion.
Well, there has to be a lot of people who knew what was going on, and then you can get into what the judge said, John. And before we go there, one of those was this Gettard guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and now the detention.
You want to talk
about him on the show?
Yep. And we said it was Twister's Gym. I believe it came out of that the Indy Star article, and this was one of the cohorts, and then they just closed down Bella Carozzi's gym. That was going on there, but this guy Gettard, and he's still got a website, and I'm going to tweet out the website. It's called thegymnasticscoach.com. It's still live. There's a picture of him. Wow, parents looking at this. Wow, how professional. here's some. He's got some testimonials. Love these products. My first stop when I need new drills, advice, or technique. Do so, my coaches. Become a valuable tool in our gym. Dimitri Lely, gymnastic coach, Canada. So this guy's selling, the method that they use to train these kids. So this guy, Gettard, and I'm trying to get the article here that this is a little aggravating. It's in the Lansing State Journal that he is. They finally suspend this guy, okay? And this is dated January 22nd, 2018. One-time U.S. Olympics women's gymnastic coach who worked with Larry Nassar. What a surprise. There he is, a picture of him with his hand around, one of the, I forget her name, but she was one of our famous gymnasts. So they suspended him. The organization released the following statement on his status. He's been suspended under interim measures, provisions of Section 10.5 of the USA Gymnastic Bylaws. USA Gymnastics is unable to comment further in this as this is a pending matter. So it sounds like he's about to be charged. And like Howie asked, and it's my question, what took you so long? This has got to be 6 months ago, right, Howie?
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely one of our shows.
We're not, we're not investigators. We're not law enforcement. We looked at the information that was available, and it's like this guy has got to be involved, and apparently he is. They finally acted, and hopefully
the difference is now because everyone's paying attention to it. This is high profile, and when people get together and say enough is enough, then they're going to start doing their job. And that's what's going on here. So this should be like the template for how we go after other people. If we use our collective voices and get and go after somebody, that's the only reason why all this is getting all the attention now. The president of Michigan State has been sitting there the whole time, and all of a sudden people are calling for her head. Well, now she resigned.
Yeah,
that's the difference.
Yeah, and it's part of this is the swamp just ain't in D.C. and it's being drained. But I'm going to tweet out because at Twister's Gym that they're still live too, and they're.
I want to throw this out there because it's what I'm thinking about. This Larry Nassar gets away with assaulting these young women or young girls for so long while other people looked on. Why? Because he was in some sort of position of authority and they revered that rather than, the innocence of the children. That's what it sounds like.
Absolutely.
Well, let me finish the thought. It's just like Weinstein, look at what he got away with all of the famous names that he got away with because he was Harvey Weinstein. When are people going to let people just be people? Then if everyone's just a regular person, nobody has, some sort of celebrity status or something, then you're on a level playing field. And the children's innocence needs to be thought of before some, I don't know. I don't know how these people even live with themselves myself. I really don't.
Well, what was important here, and this goes to, the Olympic, everybody involved in this. It wasn't the women, they were not important. The team was important. How they did in the Olympics was important, and then you fall back on that corruption that's from every level and every place, and it's no different. We don't care any more about these children than we do about the ones that are getting pulled off the street tonight. That's the truth of the matter. We're in the process of changing it, but. These organizations, whether it's USA Gymnastics or the U.S. Olympic Committee or the Boy Scouts, they don't give a damn. It's about money, and the school system, as we saw just recently. It's a money game. It's a numbers game. It's disgusting.
And it's our job, not our job, but everyone's job in the pedo-gay community to make sure that we use this, because everyone else is going to be Larry Nassar, and then they're going to say, oh, okay, yeah, I saw one tweet from just a random person that says, this is how I'm going to sleep tonight, knowing that Larry Nassar, has been put away, and it had like a gif of someone sleeping tight or something, and I was like, and I responded to her like, you're an idiot, like you're gonna sleep well tonight, knowing that this guy's in jail, like, no, you're gonna, like, what you're supposed to do is say, wait a second, if this guy was doing it, who else is doing it?
Yeah, you should be on the phone to USA Gymnastics.
Yeah, and you're going to sleep tight knowing he's in jail after knowing what he did to 150 children over 20 years, and people ignored it, and you're going to sleep tight? I'd be like, I would, now that you're aware of this, I would feel, pretty uncomfortable. I wouldn't be sleeping well.
Where does this go wrong? What are we doing wrong?
Right, but
that's
everything. We need to be asking ourselves those questions and answering them.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
That's everything.
Because you know what? In the end, it is our fault. It is our fault. If we are not hammering this hard enough, then it's our fault.
Right. And I wanted anybody listening to the show right now, John, I don't know if you remember, Catherine, you wouldn't remember because you weren't here, but I found, I guess I was going along like, hey, like I thinking about like where, I don't know, something about just gymnastics. I don't know if it was Larry Nassar, it was before Larry Nassar or after, but it seemed like a perfect opportunity for girls to be molested. And I found there's a hashtag on Twitter called Gym Unsafe. And the person the account that started the hashtag is at Jim Castic, GYMCASTIC, and they've been tweeting about not USA Gymnastics, but just these cases in all levels of gymnastics, and there's a lot of them. Mm-hmm. Gymnastics coaches at all levels being arrested, and for the parent, and they put it all. And they started the hashtag Gym Unsafe. So if you go to the hashtag Gym Unsafe and scroll through, they just like Pedogate News, they have case after case after case of gymnastics coaches being arrested for child sexual assault.
Well, I'm tweeting out about Gettard and Twister's Gym, and I think Twister's Gym is still operating. And now I remember part of the problem when we looked at this. They were advocating bringing in like 3-year-old kids to start training them, and it's like, what? What? And and there was probably more red flags because I haven't had time to get back into it. But I think Twisters is still operating. I'm pretty sure. And my question is, why every parent that has a child with that organization, knowing what they know now, would be at Twister's Gym in the morning, or every child removed out of there until they could determine it's even safe for anybody.
And John, if I recall, after Kathy Clegg was put on, before she retired, she was put on like administrative leave or something. I believe that, and Kathy Clegg was the gymnastics coach at Michigan State University, and for about 20 years, almost probably the similar amount of time that Larry Nassar was there.
Howie, is that Gym Unsafe? Is that hashtag?
Yeah, Gym Unsafe. Gym Unsafe. And it's article after article.
I'm multitasking. Wow.
Yeah, but Kathy Clegg, John, this sounds
I'm almost 100% on this one. After she left Michigan State, she started filling in at Twister's gym.
Oh my!
You remember
God.
this? You don't remember? Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. I remember there was some kind of connection, but I don't. Like I said,
I don't know if we found it or somebody else had found it. That they showed the logs of that the Kathy Clegg would be the coach there. We can confirm that, but I'm going to say I'm 99%.
You come up on Jim and Safe, Howard.
What's that?
You come up on Jim and Safe.
Oh my God! There it is.
Yeah, I started using.
Hold on, I gotta get this. Oh my God! I'm gonna do a screenshot and tweet it. Here's you want to talk about creepy? This is Twister's Gym. Discover gymnastic opportunities for boys and girls ages 12 months to 18 years. What? You're bringing a year, 12 months to 18 years. And everybody out there, this screenshot is going to have the phone numbers on there. So, maybe you'll give them a call. My God. Now I remember. I saw that and I was like, what? 12 months? What is going on? Geddert's Twisters Gymnastics Club. 12 months to 18 years. Well, the phone numbers will be there. And I agree with you both. There is an inappropriate level of outrage right now that's going on.
Right. And everybody wants to be like, oh, they got him and good, and the world's a better...
Oh, yeah. Larry Nassar's in jail, so we're good. Yeah.
But I think that I believe that, there are enough people that are putting pressure. Hey, listen, the president of the university, we've gotten rid of the president of the university, which is great, but what did you know? It's similar to Penn State. What did Paterno know? What did Graham Spanier know? We never seem to get those, pieces of information. But Jerry Sandusky was not raping boys in State College, Pennsylvania, and nobody knew about it. I'll bet my life on it. I went to Penn State. Larry Nassar was not doing this to these girls, and lots and lots and lots of people did not know about it. So, and failure to report, that's
a crime. And
it's a crime.
Incompetence in that case is a crime. Because they're responsible for the welfare of those children, and you can't just say, "Oh, well, it was a clerical error." Sorry, that won't cut it. You're either responsible for them or you're not. And if you've abrogated that responsibility, in my mind, and I think the law probably would cover this, you should be criminally charged. And that's just starting. I mean, it's coming around. Anybody that hasn't watched the last hour, at least the last hour of that sentencing, Judge Aquilina is just, in my opinion, a tremendous human being. The real deal. We need thousands of people like her. But not only did she stuff his little excuse letter basically up his ass where it belongs, made him be present for these survivors, pointed out the typical serial pedophile. It's everybody else's fault, and that she used that that was in his little letter because he was blaming the prosecutor and this and that. So that was used in his sentencing. The direct quote: "I just signed your death warrant." Larry's going to be in jail for like 160 years, and the best part was at the end when she urged the FBI, law enforcement, everybody involved in this case to widen this investigation and put people in jail that knew what the hell was going on. And I've never heard a judge make a statement like that off the bench. And another thing I've never seen, and I've watched a lot of court proceedings, she got a standing ovation when she left the bench. So, it was, and the prosecutor, they were crying. I was tearing, but it was just, and it's a new era, and it needs to be. So that's my take on Larry Nassar and Judge Aquilina. And she won't be doing any interviews. She's not going to be on court TV and be a host, the legal correspondent. This woman is dedicated to what she's doing. I'm sure she's going to be an advocate, in this area in whatever way she can. And, what she said to the press is at some point in the future, should I do an interview about this case, one of the survivors of this monster will be in that interview, because it's not about me at all. It will never be about the judge in that case. It's about the survivors. And it was just beautiful. And please, and it's really, it's emotional, but it's uplifting. It's that needs to be our court system.
She set the tone. She
sure did.
Set the tone. And so any judge behind her that is going to have any case of any significance, if they sound weaker than she does, they're not going to come off very well, and they're not probably going to do that to themselves.
Yeah.
It was a very powerful thing what she did, beyond, just setting him straight and having the survivors feel, well supported from the bench.
Yeah.
And that is amazing, and she definitely deserves a standing ovation.
Yeah, it was goosebumps. I've never seen that, and boy, she deserved one. And and people you need to watch that. You need to show that to your family. Take that out and show it to your community. And that's hopefully what's happening here. People are talking about this. You're getting out in your community. There's people that are judges in your community. They need to see that. Did you see that? And it's happening. But
wow. we have to reinforce that if a man like this is doing it, who else? This is not an isolated incident.
No,
this is going on in every organization across the country in one form or another, and people need to wake up to that reality.
Yeah.
And hopefully this will be, it was a number one trending thing on Twitter for a few hours yesterday. Larry Nassar was. And then of course when the TV shows they pay to get their hashtags trending, Larry Nassar just dropped off. So, it's incumbent on us, what we've been doing to take this momentum and push. And when we see something like that on social media, whatever the social media is, just start pounding it with other stuff. We already know Larry Nassar. Now it's like sneak in. That's the time to start sneaking in other cases. Start sneaking in the hashtags, Jim Unsafe, and say, hey, wait a sec. Look what's going on overall.
Well,
did anyone from the Me Too hashtag say anything about Larry Nassar? Did you notice?
Yeah, they tried to conflate it. Me Too, but they're two separate things here. We're not talking about sexual harassment of women in the workplace or whatever, and it's all the same thing. But we're talking about rape of children, and that's
right.
And
I know. I'm just wondering.
Yeah. Oh, no, I know you know.
No, I was just wondering if they were supportive of the hashtag.
Right, but they're not talking. Right, but nobody wants to say the words child rape.
Yeah. And we're gonna have Lori Handrahan on at some point, and that she's been the pioneer in calling a spade, and what it's called, and that's what it's called, child rape.
Right.
So I have talked with Lori for years through Twitter, so I don't know what her voice sounds like, but I am literally sitting on the edge of my seat. I was actually thinking about that earlier today. I'm really excited about that because, Lori,
well, you can be there because I think we're going to do it either on Periscope or Facebook Live or YouTube. I'm not sure, but you'll be there talking with her. So
Well, I can drop out on that one. You guys,
well, I'm just going to listen.
Catherine, you can handle that one.
I will just listen to her. I'm telling you, just let her talk. She knows it.
Yeah. And if anyone, if anyone doesn't,
she has a new book, by the way.
Book.
Yeah, on Amazon.
Buy her book. I don't remember the name of it. I'm sorry, I don't. But buy
and go. She does her articles on Medium.com. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if anybody uses Medium.
Oh my God! Talk about
when she does a thread on one was on university professors dealing in child pornography. She doesn't put 15, 20 cases. She put it was like 100. It was in the hundreds.
Yeah, I'm gonna tweet this out right now, which is it's a link to her new book. It's called Epidemic: America's Trade in Child Rape. So that's going out on our.
I didn't even know she. All right, fantastic.
That's her new book, and it's available on Amazon. And
I can't tell you how strange it is to say, dealing in child rape, fantastic. Like it's just like.
Oh, that's nice. So Twitter is making it very difficult for me to. Can I copy that link?
Can I end this on kind of a? I mean, it's strange, but I want to end it up like sort of on a funny note.
You can do whatever you want, Howie.
Have you seen a picture of the former Michigan State president, Luana Simon?
No.
You know what this woman looks like?
No.
All right. Well, real quick, just pull her picture up. Just to say she's, it's not nice to talk about one's physical appearance.
But you're going to go ahead anyway.
But you're going to do it anyway.
She's not an attractive woman. So my tweet yesterday was I said it was something to the effect of I feel that it's unfair.
Oh, that was a great tweet. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I feel it's unfair to blame Luana Simon for failure to handle the accusations against the sexual abuse accusations against Larry Nassar. I said because she probably has no idea what sex is.
Right.
I stumbled across. I wish I should just have the tweet in front of me, but anyway.
I'm not going to Google her. Sorry, you want to tweet her picture out, Howie? I'll look at it, but I'm not. Sorry.
No, I sent it to you. Anyway,
I'm not biting on that one. Sorry.
It's basically like how could she possibly know what sexual abuse was because she doesn't know what sex. I mean that's so. There's more. Obviously, there's more work to be done, and the people that like I said, the random person I saw who she's going to sleep tight. Go ahead, sleep tight, but there's a lot more. There's a lot more cards left to fall in this one.
Yeah, and we're gonna transition through to the state of Tennessee, and
well, it's not so much the state of Tennessee as it is.
Oh, yes, it is. But
yeah. And V tweeted out something on the state of Tennessee and child marriage, and it's a really
oh my God, yeah, that's one you want to
read. What in the world? I ran out of you could only access so many articles. And I had already dropped a couple on accident, so I didn't get to read all the articles that were posted. So tell me about the marriage thing.
Well, it's and all those links and that link too were tweeted out, and that you need to read that one. That's just
that just came about. This whole thing started. I sort of by happenstance. I found an article of a man who was he was arrested for the rape of an 8-year-old child, and back in 2013, and the case had taken quite some time.
But the article that I found was that he had pled to a misdemeanor of child endangerment, I believe it was, and basically put on probation. Even though he raped this 8-year-old 4 years ago, the parents didn't want to put the now 12-year-old through a trial. Why it took 4 years in the court system, that's another thing altogether. He is the
the defense attorney.
Because of what?
The defense attorney. That's what a defense attorney will do every time. They will drag that out because it's an emotional thing. They drag it out, and they will wear that victim out.
Yep. There's
little court proceedings. Go for this one, that one, another thing, and then, it's a strategy.
It's a legal strategy.
Absolutely. You can Google defense of a child molester or pedophile, and it's on the list.
Yeah. Make time pass. The victim wants to, and something that I don't know what specifically needs to be. Well, it shouldn't be allowed, but that's specifically. But you've got the victim in the case, is trying to get from there to surviving what happened, and that's. And there is, there's great resources now that much better. There's counseling that they're in, but until you end that portion, they can't move on. So you're stalling that survivor's ability to start to recover and heal from this. It's ridiculous, and it's
to get beyond that point, and to even get to that point is a major miracle, because usually they don't even get to that point. But it is very emotionally draining, and so that's what they do, is drag it out. And 4 years is a long time. Some DA should have gotten a hold of that and said enough is enough of this garbage, because they can.
Right.
Yeah. And that's how they get these pleas. That's how they avoid the sex offender registry.
So there you go. Goes back to your county right there, Howard.
Right. But the thing was, I searched, to post to Pedogate News. I do, child rape arrests, child sexual assault arrest. I just do internet searches looking for this stuff, and this article just happened to pop up on January 11th, and the headline of the article was it's called Sequatchie County Constable charged with rape pleads no contest to lesser charge. And then I read down and plead. So this guy was a constable in the Sequatchie County, and then going down. So I had put that out there. I didn't think anything of it. But then I saw another article tweeted out by somebody else, and it's Sequatchie. I'm going to call it Sequatchie County.
Okay. Let's decide how we're going to pronounce this. Sequatchie. Is that
Sequatchie?
What do you think?
Okay, probably Sequatchie. It's probably Sequatchie.
Sequatchie. All right.
Okay, I'll go with that.
But the city, the city in Sequatchie County is Dunlap, Tennessee. So somebody had tweeted out an article that also to Pedogate News that a convicted sex offender was caught on school grounds with children in a van on school grounds, and he got arrested or whatever. And then I saw, and it said Dunlap, this Dunlap Times. And I said, I just saw Dunlap, and it just, struck. I said, could that be the same thing? And I don't believe in coincidences. So I went and I said, okay, it's Dunlap, Tennessee, same exact place where I just saw this article recently about, and this man's name is, excuse me for 1 second. Let me get his name.
Broom. David Broom was the...
David Broom. Right, so I saw that article on David Broom.
61 years old. 61 years old.
61 years old now, yeah.
Right.
Right, so now I saw that. And then Now, okay, I see two articles from the same, and this county in Tennessee has about 14,000 people. So I said, okay, let me just do a search on Sakatchee County or Dunlap, Tennessee, and then another article came up about a 22-year-old who was arrested in Dunlap for the rape of a girl under the age of 13, and that was, I'm sorry, all these articles I have to close.
And they're all on the Twitter line if you need them, because all those went out.
I reached my limit on how many articles I can read, and so now I'm not able to come up. So
you and me both.
Right. So I found these. Well, if you clear your cookies out, then they won't know who you are, and you'll be able to read. That's how they track you with that stuff.
Well, yeah. So, apparently, Sakatchee County has got a problem. But what I'm going to do, and maybe by Monday, maybe we'll do a part 2 on this, is because the TBI has been ramping up, their efforts to do this, and I'm sure they do have statistics on their website. I just haven't had time to go in and look at them, but that would be interesting, and we may end up doing this state by state, nationwide, but definitely a problem in Tennessee. And that just a shout out to V for that great article on the child brides. Apparently, 2 10-year-olds, were married in that state. What is going on? That needs to be.
I think it was 3 10. I think it was 3 10-year-olds.
God.
Yeah, and
well, when Howard was talking about the one guy, he's the constable, and then one of the other offenders is a county commissioner.
Oh, I didn't even get.
Tell me about that county commissioner, and the constable article was actually tweeted out. But yeah, talk about those, Catherine, both of them, because that county commissioner story sounded wow.
There wasn't a lot about him. His name is Barnett Slayton. Pled guilty to solicitation of a minor and statutory rape. He's the one. He had to resign as a commissioner and agreed not to run for political office for 4 years. That was part of his sentencing.
And this was back. This was back in 2011. So this isn't like a current. These last 3 articles were fairly current. This one goes back to 2011. But yeah, another Sakatchee County official. So we have got a constable and the county commissioner.
So he
charged. Yeah.
Yeah, you can be convicted of child rape in Tennessee and apparently run for office in 4 years. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, not him, because he agreed not to.
Oh, that was nice of him. But if he wanted to, he
that made
have,
me
right?
want to bang my head, honestly.
Yeah.
His case.
In 4
his
years,
case
you
was.
throw your hat back in the.
Was that the guy that got the weekends in jail?
No.
Oh, okay.
The guy that got the weekends in jail, that was just the last name Solium.
Oh, that's right.
He got 104 weekends in jail for 3 charges of sexual molestation.
Yeah, well, actually, they were aggravated statutory rape, because I pulled him up on the, and at least he didn't dodge the offender registry. But we're going to be looking into that too, because there's so. Go ahead.
What was really interesting about this? So after finding these articles, once again, just doing a simple internet search, Sakatchee County, I don't know, pedophiles or child rape, whatever I searched for, I got things on YouTube where people specifically did videos on Sakatchee County and Dunlap, Tennessee sex offenders.
Wow.
And there's 3 of these. I didn't go 6 minutes long.
Howie, if you can, tweet them out and just tag the traffic report, and we'll get those.
They're all in your John. They're all in your DM. So I gave them your
really?
DM. So they're all in DM.
So those the YouTube videos.
Yeah. So if you
wow.
Two videos in the DM. Sakatchee County, Tennessee. Yeah. Blah blah blah. There's one, two, three videos. From Sakatchee County. So I don't know who's making these videos, but they obviously there's something going on there enough that somebody decided, and all they are the pictures of the sex offenders. And they're they're 6 minutes long.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so we're talking about
in the comment section.
There they are. Sorry about that. Okay, I got
we were talking about. One of the people said they get light sentences, then they just get out and reoffend. So it's
right.
Wow! Oh my God! Listen to this too, because I'm looking at that's got apparently the YouTube account is Word Dunlap, and it's got 2,330 views. That's just one of those videos. So I'm tweeting that. I'm tweeting that out right now. My God!
Let's show them some love and some support.
And then doing continuing on with just a simple internet search of Sakatchee County. What I used after that, pedophile, child molester, arrest, whatever. There's a thread on topics.com, City of Dunlap, and the thread starts out, another child molester / rapist got 22 days in jail, and this is from 2012, and it says an article in the Tribune, which is the Dunlap Tribune. A man named Donald, and I could not find this article, but a man named Donald G. Vaughn pled guilty to criminal attempted rape of 15-year-old female and incest. Circuit Court judge sentenced him to 22 days in jail, time already served in June 2011, becoming eligible for 5 years, 11 months, and 9 days of supervised probation. He can even travel across state lines as part of his job. For the incest charge, he has to serve 3 years with TDOC, not sure what that is, after completing
Tennessee
his
Department
probation. Okay. Please tell me that this is so wrong. What is wrong with this? Everything. So, and this is going back to 2012. That people are, so we have people with threads on topics.com. We have people making YouTube videos. We have actual articles in Sakatchee County of the constable, the commissioner, sex offenders on school grounds with kids in the car, and 22. So, and this is a county of 14,000. And trust me, I never heard of Sakatchee County before today. Now, this is one friggin' county in Tennessee.
Well,
what are the chances that all this stuff is coming back?
Yeah, and we'll do part 2 on this because I want to dig down into some of these statistics because I know TBI has them, and I know they've been putting an effort forth recently to ramp up putting these rapists behind bars. But so we'll do more. I've got the whole weekend to research this, so I'll if that's okay with you guys, let's see what the hell is going on in Tennessee, or at least in that county.
Absolutely, and
that can just be a sample market, honestly, because it's representative across the United States, with the exception of a few places, for crying out loud. So it's a test sample. It'll be good. It'll be a good study.
But it's once again, I wasn't looking for this. I found one article, somebody else tweeted out another article, and then we're talking basic internet search. This is not, I don't consider this research. I don't get a basic internet search on, some county, and then all this stuff starts coming back, and something's, wait a second, something's going on here. And, Catherine knows this from the article that the first guy who pled down, David Broom, who pled down to, a misdemeanor for the rape of an 8-year-old. He owns a plumbing business, and it's on Signal Mountain, which is in Sakatchee County. I guess it's close.
That's where Pulliam. That's the guy, the aggravated statutory rapist. that's his Signal Mountain.
Oh, Signal Mountain. Okay. Okay.
Yep.
But if you go and I tweeted the link that if you go on to excuse me for 1 second, I have to just get the Mountain City. It's called mountaincityservice.com, and it's some type of plumbing contracting business. And right there is David Broom, president. We have his email address, and we have the telephone number to Mountain City Service in Signal Mountain, Tennessee. So they're gonna get an odd call from the city of Philadelphia, asking for David Broom either tomorrow or Monday.
Please record that.
Please.
All right, I'll
Periscope it, Howard. Periscope it.
Because absolutely.
Periscope it.
And send
No,
me
you
a
can't
tweet. Send me a tweet before you do
Periscope.
it, for Christ's sake. Huh?
You can't Periscope and make phone calls. You can't do anything in Periscope at the same time. If you're on Periscope, you can't like switch over and make a phone call.
Oh.
No, but do you have another device that you could?
Yeah, I mean there might be something I'll figure it out before I call.
Yeah. I wanted, and that's so great because the stuff you do in colonies and confronting those people, that's you get it in a format like that, and that's beautiful. Just don't forget to text your old buddy here so I can get it live, and then that's really great. But so we're winding down a little bit. We covered a lot of ground tonight. I mean, we've from.
I apologize, Catherine. I don't usually talk this much. I'm just a little fired up tonight.
No, it's good that you were, because I went and read a lot of those articles, but I couldn't retain a thing this evening for some reason.
Yeah. I did it all on the fly, and I was really, kind of in the weeds still. But hey,
I took notes. That's how I knew some of the things that I knew.
Those are some great links, and they're all out there. And V's retweeting everything, and
that article. I don't know where she found that. It's just so. I mean, this is like the crowdsourcing thing. We throw something out there in Tennessee, and then she comes up with an article.
Boom.
No kidding.
Yeah,
that was totally cool.
Well, and there's I want to drill down into that article for next week, because 2 10-year-olds, females that married people. It's statutory rape. They're over. It's aggravated because they're over 10 years older than their victims. And the other one is an 11-year-old boy that married a 27-year-old woman. What? I gotta find it. That's in that article. That's just the beginning of the article. Yeah. My God.
She also sent an article about what they're doing with the registered sex offenders in prison and such, as far as reform. Those were pretty interesting. Read those.
Right, but this is not right. I mean, but we're for right now. For right now, I'm telling you, there's something going on.
That's right.
We've got an entire state of Tennessee.
Part 2, Tennessee Pedos on Tuesday. Thanks for joining us.
Have a great weekend.
Yep. Thanks, Catherine.
Thanks, guys.